First thing you want to do is write your name on the back and your code. Flip your paper over. We have a square sheet of paper, and we're going to turn this into 4 little squares. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take the bottom and I'm going to fold it all the way to the top. Now I can see my name here, that's fine. And you can see it's not perfect, that's okay. Keep it folded, and then you want to take this side and fold it to this side. So I like to place it first and then scoop my hand back to crease it. And if you open this up, you will see the letter T, or like a plus sign. Now you've created 4 squares. Okay, so each square is going to be different. We are going to use chalk pastel to create the colors. Chalk pastels are in your cubby. This is what they look like. If you pick them up, they feel like regular chalk you would write on a chalkboard with. But we don't want to write on the chalkboard. These are art pastels. And you can see they're very beautiful colors. So what you want to do is we're going to create a nice cool effect with these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 2 to 3 colors for each square. So I'm going to start here with this square, and I want to pick this pretty sort of violet-y pink kind of color. And I want to pick a regular violet, and I want to pick a blue violet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make a circle very lightly, and I'm going to color that in with my first color. And you can notice I'm going a little fast. And I'm going to pick my second color, and I'm going to go around it. Now I'm going to pick my third color. Now I'm not going to get in this square or this square or this square. I'm just staying up here. So if it helps you to kind of trace where your crease mark is, then do that. And then you just want to fill in the rest with your other color. Now you can see I'm kind of using the side of my chalk to fill in space a little easier. Okay. So you want to do that in all 4 squares. But remember, only choose 2 to 3 colors. So here, these are called cool colors because they're colors that make us feel cool. So violets, blues, and greens. Over here, I might want to go to warm colors, and those are things like yellows, oranges, and reds. You think of fire or think of the sun, those are warm kind of colors. So then you can do the same thing just with new colors. And maybe you can make your starting circle a little bigger this time. Maybe I'll only do 2 colors. So now here's the part that gets fun, but also you must be careful. You want to use your finger to blend these chalk pastels together, which means number 1, you're going to get very messy. Number 2, you have to know when to stop. You could smear this whole thing together, but when you're done, it'll just look like a big smear mess. It'll look all muddy and it won't look nice. So you just want to blend the colors in each individual section, okay? So if I smear in this section, that's all I smear. I don't move into the other ones. So you don't want to smear the whole entire thing. That's a big, big no-no. Okay, so I'll start here. I'm just going to use my finger. Notice how I control my blending. I'm not just going crazy. So I blend the pink into the purple a little bit. Then I go and I just blend all my purple together so I don't see any more white space. And then I go into the blue. Remember, I don't go into this square at all. And if you feel you need to add a little more color, just add a little more and keep blending. Okay, now if you feel your finger got a little too dirty, then you can go ahead and just wipe it off. Or you can just keep that finger dirty, switch to a new finger, and start on your next square. So I'll start down here. I'll start with the blue, smear all the blue together, then I'll go into this pretty lighter kind of blue-greeny kind of color. Then I'll go into the yellow. Notice how I'm just using one finger to smear. I'm not using my whole hand. I am done smearing, and what you can tell is that my colors are still all nice and pretty. I didn't smear them too much where they turned all gray or all brown, and that is what you want with this assignment, okay? So what I would do is I would put this on the drying rack, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray some stuff on it just to make it a little sticky so the chalk doesn't fly up every time that we have to get this back out. And you definitely want to clean your hands off when you are finished with this part of the assignment. Okay, so I'm done with the chalk colors, so I'm just going to set those to the side. I'm going to work on something a little different that we will add on to the chalk later. So you are going to pick 4 colors of paper that you want to work with, okay? And you are going to trace your hand on these colored sheets of paper. I'll use pink to show you on the camera. So if I put my hand on this paper, part of my finger is getting a little cut off at the top, so all I do is scoot it down. It's okay if a little part of the bottom gets cut off. Make sure all your fingers are on the paper, and you want to trace your fingers. So when you trace, you don't want to put your pencil way underneath your hand. You want to kind of keep your pencil straight up as you move around your fingers. So don't draw like this, because then it gets too far underneath your thumb, and then your thumb's going to look really skinny. So I just keep my pencil straight up, and I move around my hand. I am letting the pencil kind of lean against my fingers. Lift my hand up, and now you will see my handprint. So this is what happens if you draw with your pencil curved or slanted. Your fingers become really skinny, and that's not what we want. We want the nice, plump, regular looking fingers of a hand. So once you have that, you're going to take your 3 other colors. So let's see here. And I am going to cut them all at once. If this is too thick for you, maybe just cut 2 of them. And then trace your hand again. So maybe I'll do that just to show you. So I just have one colored piece of paper underneath my pink one, and I will cut out my hand. When you cut on a curve, move the paper, not the scissors. So the whole time I'm moving this and moving my paper. My scissors are technically staying in the same spot. All they are doing is opening and closing. So I have to have 4 hands. So what I'll do, I just made another one. Now I'll trace my pink hand onto this paper, and then just cut these 2 papers at the same time. If you think you can cut all 4 papers at the same time, then go for it. Now if you get, while you're tracing, if you get pencil marks on that hand, erase, erase, erase. Okay, and then cut it out again. And you're going to put these hands here back onto your chalk drawing. So each hand needs to get some glue on the back of it. And I would do a frame of glue and just be really careful when you get to the tippy tops of each finger. And you want to pick what color you like for each section. And you know what? My hand's a little too big, so I'm just going to trim off this bottom here. That means I'm going to have to trim off all the bottoms of all the hands, so I'll just put them all back together. And this is problem solving. This is just how we solve this problem. Just make them a little tinier. I like to lay mine out first to kind of see what colors I like to go where. I think that's how I'm going to want them, and then I'll just glue all those down. Okay, so now that I have all of my hands glued down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also put my handprint on here. So I need to get some black paint. And I don't want to put paint all over my hand because this is not my entire hand. I had to cut some of it off. So I'm just going to see where I need the paint. So it's about right here on my hand. So I'll kind of just mark it like that. And you just want to make sure you get all over your hand. It's going to feel a little funny. And then you just want to print right on top. And lift straight up. And do it again. Alright, so we will put this on the drying rack to dry, and we are all complete.